So as you can tell from this title, I really enjoyed the new Batman movie. I'm really surprised because, as we all know, DC has not made the best quality movies in the past. Now recently they have been catching up and making pretty good movies such as Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, but you know, it's DC. This is the company that messed up Superman and Batman. So you can tell why I was pretty skeptical going into this movie. But I gotta say, I'm really surprised. I really did not expect this movie to be this good. From the first scene, when I saw Batman, I'm like, oh yeah, this is him. This is the one. I think something that really stood out to me from this movie is that Batman is a detective. In the comics, it's always talked about and actually expressed, and in TV shows, the same thing. But we never get to see this detective side from Batman in the movies. Now, in The Dark Knight or Christopher Nolan's trilogy, we get to see some of it, but still not very much. And I don't think the other Batman movies express his detective side very well. So it's pretty cool to see him on the crime scenes actually figuring out what is going on. And I think this is why I like having the Riddler as a villain in this story. It makes this movie feel like a crime mystery type story. It's really engaging to watch, and there are times when I kind of forgot this was a Batman movie, but in a good way. It really characterizes Batman as this really smart and very observant person, not just someone who beats people up or even gets a gun to kill people. He actually uses his mind and actually observes things to figure out the problem. And personally, when superhero movies kind of take that route of using the characters to figure out the problem instead of using big CGI moments, I really enjoyed it. So it was really fun to see that. The Riddler himself is pretty freaking menacing. Something that I've noticed with Batman villains is that most of them are pretty realistic. Most of them, not all of them. But if you look at Batman's rogues gallery, you can see some of them actually being real people. Like, I can see someone being the Joker. I can see someone being the Riddler. I can see someone being even Bane, maybe. And this kind of makes Batman's villains very terrifying to me because, yeah, it just hits too close to home. Overall, the actors did a great job. All the performances were very, very good. And yeah, they just did a great job on screen. I think we can all agree that we haven't gotten the best interpretation of Batman these past few years. After, yeah, you know, we finally get to see Batman doing something that I enjoy in superhero movies. The hero saving people. And it's just a breath of fresh air to finally see Batman represented very well. Now, I'm not saying other movies don't do this. I think Christopher Nolan's trilogy is very good and expresses Batman in a different way. But after having, yeah, you know, it's great to see this Batman represented very, very well. And I finally have to give this movie props for making Catwoman a good character. She doesn't slow down Batman. She's not always trying to make out with him. No, she's an actual character in this movie and adds a lot to the story. I enjoyed the character, and yeah, I just gotta give the movie props because it's not done very well in other movies. So yeah, overall, this movie was really good. I enjoyed it, and I cannot figure out if I like this Batman movie or The Dark Knight better. With The Dark Knight, even though the story is about Batman, I think we can all agree that Joker does take some of the spotlight. And this isn't a bad thing, but sometimes when you're watching The Dark Knight, it doesn't feel like Batman's story. Now yes, Batman is characterized in that movie, but the Joker gets as much as characterization as Batman. But in this movie, it's all about Batman. Even though the Riddler is there and he does get some characterization, the movie is about Batman himself. So if you want a good starting point on who Batman is, I think it's better to watch this Batman story than maybe The Dark Knight. I don't know. It's all up to you. It's whatever you prefer. Personally, I like both Batman movies, and I think they both bring a good characterization, a good view of who Batman is in a different way. So I'm going to give the new Batman movie a 10 out of 10.